have used the dosage that's recommended, and there are a few oncologists in the area and around that recommend L-glutamine. But what it does is it protects the intestinal mucosa lining from the damaging effects of the chemotherapy. Chemo, like I said, it can be battery acid on the digestive tract. This helps protect it. They estimate that close to 50% of people that die from chemo die because of malnutrition. It's so hard on their body, they can't eat, they won't eat, and their body can no longer absorb the nutrients. So anything we can help or use to help the digestion process work better and absorb nutrients, go for it. Astragalus, very interesting herb. Dr. Andrew Weil tends to promote this one a lot for cancer, but there's research to back that up. What it does is it enhances the killer T cells and the immune system. University of Texas research found that it restored or enhanced the function of white cells, and it also supported bone marrow production. A lot of chemos and radiation affect the body's ability to properly manufacture bone marrow, which is responsible for B12 and other things as well. And so therefore, potentially looking down the road may be a helpful thing for prevention of bone cancer if your bone marrow can work properly. Curcumum, also known as turmeric extract. It's a very anti-cancer thing, both in preventative and treatment. It can be taken at the same time as chemo and radiation as well. Essiac, kind of controversial. It is also known as a cancer tea. Under John Kennedy's era, back in the 1960s, his Surgeon General's, I believe it was mother, was cured by using this blend of 7 different herbs that were from Canadian Indians, and Renee Case had bottled it and distributed it. They're estimating that tens of thousands of people have been cured just by solely using this as their cancer treatment. So you can take that in conjunction as well with your chemotherapy or your radiation too. You can research more online about it. I've spelled it out, and so if you want more information, that would be the best source to look it up. We've got a second page. There's a lot more supplements than what I've just written down on here, and some of them are kind of controversial that maybe I might believe in them, but a lot of oncologists kind of put their hands off. So I'm putting things on here that are not controversial. These are ones that we know will help. IP6, it boosts the immune system. Modified citrus pectin. And you're like, citrus pectin, modified, what does that mean? Well, there's a lot of good research on modified citrus pectin. It comes in capsule form, and the study suggests that it reduces the risk of prostate cancer metastasizing. So what that means is it prevents it from spreading. But there's also research on it having to do with certain types of brain cancers and other cancers for prevention of metastasizing. Keeping the cancer from spreading once it's gone or once it's there, and keeping it from spreading, that's the purpose in order to allow, if you choose chemotherapy and radiation, to be able to work. Quercetin. We mentioned, the onions and garlic have quercetin. Well, in a supplement form, it's much higher in its potency, and it inhibits tumor formation, and also has been very well researched for prevention of prostate cancer cell replication. That means if the cancer cells, it will reduce how fast they replicate in the man's body. Fish oil. When you undergo chemo, oftentimes you have a lot of tissue wasting. The body just kind of wastes away. That's why you'll see chemo patients just drop weight so fast. There's been a lot of research on maintaining protein levels, meaning easily digestible proteins that we discussed earlier. But for some reason, fish oil also really helped prevent muscle wasting. There are other things that are not well researched in conjunction with chemo that we know protect against muscle wasting, but fish oil has been researched in conjunction with those other treatments. 4,000 milligrams, that's like 4 of those good sized little caps a day, prevents that tissue wasting that we see in chemo patients. Greens, we should say the magical everything. They oxygenate the blood. There are some greens that are just so much richer. Spirulina, chlorella, I've got them on wheatgrass. All of these help support the oxygenation of the blood, the alkalinity of the blood, and enable the body to better detox on a cellular level in response to chemo treatments. They'll increase your energy a little bit too. because they oxygenate. And anytime you oxygenate alkali, you feel better. Probiotics. These are the good little critters that exist mostly in the bowel that help you break down your food. Remember how I mentioned how chemo kind of shreds up the gut? Certain kinds of chemo, not all, but the majority I've seen do. What the probiotics do, these little critters, they line the digestive tract and they help you break down your food. They produce things like serotonin, which are real important for mood and being antidepressant. Well, when you're undergoing particularly chemo, these probiotics are a must in combination with L-glutamine to help you be able to break down your foods. Melatonin. There's several studies on melatonin levels, both in a preventative, but today we're discussing what you can take in conjunction with your treatment. Several studies show that it activates immune cells and improves the action of chemotherapy drugs and radiation. It improves the action of allopathic medication, drugs, radiation. Think about that. So, definitely something that you might want to consider if you're undergoing those treatments right now, because it'll make it work better. Milk thistle. Oftentimes when we're undergoing chemo, well, not often, every time, remember they're poisons that go into the body. You're trying to poison the cancer. The only problem is it also poisons the healthy cells. So, milk thistle helps protect the liver and restore liver enzymes. Your liver is your key detoxifying agent. Detoxifying organ is better. And so if you can keep the liver functioning better, you can detoxify all these toxic chemicals that you're taking in chemotherapy. I've written the dosage down on here that's necessary based upon research that was conducted. A food-based multivitamin and mineral. I've had more oncologists say, oh, stop doing your multivitamin. Now the people aren't eating, they don't feel very good, and they tell them, you can't take any of your vitamins anymore, your basic nutrients for survival. This is absolutely hogwash because you require certain nutrients in order to be able to sustain certain bodily functions. So, where I've kind of compromised in this issue, and most of the research is backing, is if we go with whole food-based vitamins and minerals that are all 100% from whole foods, we can get the nutrients in the body without sending your oncologist in a tizzy trying to debate with you. So don't forget, do the multi, just do a food-based one. Green tea, lots and lots of research on green tea, particularly once again by the Japanese. Japanese study of 472 stage 1, stage 2, and 3 breast cancers patients decreased the numbers of axillary lymph node metastasizing of the cancer among premenopausal women in a significant amount. So, you know how oftentimes when they remove the breast, they have to remove all the lymph nodes, and then, or if they remove the breast, they're concerned. If they don't take the lymph nodes out, it'll spread. Green tea in higher dosages helps prevent those breast cancer cells from metastasizing into the lymph nodes. There are a few things that you can take for nausea and vomiting as well. I wanted to mention they're homeopathic. All homeopathics are safe to take with any drugs or medications, and I've listed them down on here. Cadmium sulf helps with fatigue, vomiting, and hair loss. There are other controversial things such as vitamin E that I'm not going to discuss today because it's controversial that also can prevent that. These two right here can be very, very helpful for that nausea and fatigue that accompany the chemotherapy. I also want to mention there's something called lymph massage. And what that does is the lymph is what carries all your flows your immune. Oftentimes what happens, you'll see people when they do chemo, they swell, or see people swell, period, when they're under certain medications. And it's been found with certain types of cancers that a good lymphatic massage, and you can learn to do it yourself, or there are professional massage therapists who probably do a much better job, that can do lymphatic massages to help the body eliminate the toxins a little bit better and help the body's own natural immune, deal with the cancer. This is just a very minor amount of all the things that have been researched, but the things that I found to probably be the most significant that I know you can do with chemo, surgery, and radiation. We're going to be moving on to the next segment of our show, which is the fitness portion.